Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, wherever you are in the world, welcome to FFTV Premier League channel. We're doing a bit of a surgery stream today. Well, it's kind of changed our plans a little bit. Basically, I got a WhatsApp from our boy Crypto earlier on in the week asking me to have a look at his team. And it's something, actually, guys, you can all do. I've left some details in the description on this video, so have a look on YouTube. There's a couple of ways you can get in contact with me. If you want me to just have a quick look at your team and see how you're doing, and maybe give it some surgery. So just to show you that the clinic is open today. Please take a ticket, and if it gets busy, you might have to wait a bit. But if you've got any questions, guys, pop them in the chat. I will bring a couple of you guys up because you're absolute legends for jumping on. And first one up. Stoney, how you doing, bud? Thank you for joining us.
That's ever present. Great point from Stoney as well.
You what? Say that again.
Great point from Stoney about Worrall.
He always makes great points about Worrall. Let me find it. What, should he be England captain or something? Is that the point?
Not quite that far.
Let me see if I can find it. But thank you guys for being in. Is this the one?
Yeah.
I'm the same, mate. I'm the same. He's got to get our boy in. But yeah, quick. So we're just going to basically, I've come up with a team. So watch out for, there's a stream. Well, there's a video coming out later on in a week where I'm going to talk about how to get Salah into your team. So there's a lot of people panicked and decided to use their first wild card of the season in this international break. So there's over about, last count, I think, was over 127,000 people have jumped on that. So if you're one of those and you want any tips, I've come up with a, and I'll give you a quick preview of it, guys, if I can find it. I've come up with a quick, let's start again from beginning. A quick team. Yeah, that's the team you can see on screen, basically. I don't know why it's not responding. Anyway, yeah, okay. Right, it's all slick. That's a team that'll come up on screen. But I think would be a good wild card change, basically. And I get Salah in. You're getting Salah into your team. You're getting Son and Jesus, which I think is a fantastic team. And I will talk more about this when I do the video later on in the week. But the reason, you can have a look at my backline, and I've not gone for a single central defender. They're all wing backs or fullbacks. And goalkeeper-wise, I've gone for budget goalkeepers because there's just no value in having an expensive £5.5 million goalkeeper in there. And I think that's been proven over game weeks. But what I will do is share my screen with you guys in a sec, and we'll bring up. And what we'll do, we'll bring up the league table and how you guys are all doing in the league. Some are doing better than others. Some probably need some surgery on their team. And if you do, if you're one of those, please drop me a line either by email, through our FFTV WhatsApp group, or DM me on Twitter. You'll have to add me first, and I'll have to add you back, I think. But yeah, get in contact that way, and I'll have a look at your team. And if there's any surgery, open heart surgery that needs to happen, I'll certainly have a look and see if I can help you with it. So share my tab. Let me see if I can bring that up on screen. Okay.
What an insult to Turner, calling him a value goalkeeper.
He is a value goalkeeper. The only problem I've got to have with Turner is that I can kind of see him switching to Vlachodimos in a couple of weeks. Am I sharing? Why am I not sharing? Add to stage, that's why I'm not sharing. Sharing is caring, guys. There we go. I didn't mean to start it on my team, but just you can have a look at what my team got me in game week 4. That's just passed. And it was decent. Obviously, Haaland got a hat-trick. I think he got a hat-trick and an assist, didn't he, in that game? But certainly a good one to have captained. It's hard to leave Haaland off any captaincy. I don't think any of us guys have. I think it was Taiwo's golden boot, or Alanga's golden boot, who was our leader earlier on. And he did a week where he timed it perfectly and he captained Taiwo, and he managed to get the maximum points out of Taiwo when I think it was a week, but Harden had only scored 2. But I've kept my Man City front line has done well for me, mate. And I brought Maddison in thanks to your guys' votes in the poll on my last live stream when I had Dino on with me. And you guys overwhelmingly voted, 45%, I think it won by, for me to transfer Maddison in. So thank you for that. That was a great call, because I actually would, if you'd left me to my own devices, I would have gone with Diaby. And I think he only managed a 2-point haul that week. So I really appreciate that, guys. Great insight on there. Clearly, some of you do know what you're talking about. But
Yeah,
let me show you. Let me show you the league so I can call out a few people as well. So just to show you guys, I'm not doing too bad overall with my league placings. But let's go into our Fantasy Premier League mini league. And well, let me just make the screen a little bit bigger. There we go. So you can see top of the league, we got Sabus Crimea River, which is a decent name. Nicholas Jane, 84-point haul for that week, and he's 5 points clear, guys. We got Ben White in second as well. As a big mover, guys. Like I've mentioned before, and it's a term, and it's FPL term, but we're always chasing these green arrows, so that's what we're looking for. This was our runaway leader for the first couple of weeks, Elanga's Golden Boot winner. But let's go into Nicholas's team and show you basically who is big point scorer. And so he went with a 4-5-1 formation. Have you tried that in any of your game weeks yet, Crypto? Have you messed around with your formation?
I think the first week I did it when I didn't realize you could change your formation.
Okay.
So when I found out I could change it, I think I went 4-3-3, and now I'm on a 3-4-3. So yeah, I like a lot of strikers in there. The only thing that's haunting me is having a Sheffield United player on the bench.
We will have a look at your team in a minute. The only if there was any surgery to be done on your team, Nicholas, I would definitely be looking at sorting that bench out. And another thing to bear in mind, guys, and I've played FPL for about 10 years and I never realized this myself. So when it comes to, so you got to have a minimum of 3 defenders and 1 striker in your starting lineup. So for example, if you start with 3 defenders and one of them is injured or doesn't start the game, your first sub they'll bring on is automatically a defender. But if you've got your team laid out like this, you should really have your biggest chance of point scoring, which on this bench would be Watkins as your first defender. So you can actually switch your substitutions round. So I would switch. I'm pressing it like as if I can actually do it. I can't do it, obviously, Nicholas. But I would suggest, Nicholas, switching Watkins over with Tanganga. Even though Tanganga's injured, he won't be picked anyway. If you do have a stronger bench, you want to make sure you've got your first player as your go-to, basically, off the bench. So that's another tip that I picked up this year. So I'm going to go back to the league standings. Give me a shout, Crypto. Is any of these that you want me to put up? But we're looking for
I think based on the latest comment in the chat where I'm being called a noob from Dino, I think we should find out where Dino is in the table.
We will, but we're going to shout out his boy Owen, because he's had a really decent start. Very good game week, 91 points. Well done, Owen, mate. You and he's persisted with. He's got Gibbs White in there. Fair play to you, son. And like me, he's gone for a double Man City forward line and a 3-5-2, which the most common formation being played is the 3-5-2. Just because, I mean, Haaland's nailed on. So it's either you pair somebody with him, but we will get to your team, Ben, because I actually quite like it. I don't think you need the surgery that you initially thought you did, and I will show the guys in the chat. I think you're all right, mate. Yeah, Mitoma's gone off a boil a little bit. Let's have a look at their fixtures coming up as well, because they've got a tough run, certainly in the next 4 or 5 games. So if there's a time to move Mitoma out without really losing any value, I think he's gone back down to 6.5 million. He did go up to 6.6, I believe. Let me see what is. Sorry, what is what? Yeah, 6.5 million. So you won't be losing any money on him if you do transfer him out. I don't believe. But with the fixtures, yeah, it's possible because similar priced midfielder at the moment is DRB at Aston Villa. So if you've got any transfers, Owen, this week or free transfers, unless you want to carry one over, if you've only got one free transfer and you want to carry it over to next week, so you have two, I wouldn't make the move. But it's potentially, I'd possibly look to be moving one of these to Almiron or Mitoma, because you can have a look at Newcastle's fixtures as well, and I think theirs is a bit of they've got a very good fixture one, to be fair. But what you have to factor in with Newcastle is we've got Champions League coming up as well, so it's probably worth hanging on to see how their players are rotated, because Trippier will come good. A lot of people are transferring Trippier in now that didn't start the season with him because of run of fixtures they've got coming up. So I wouldn't probably move Almiron out just yet. Might be more likely to go for Mitoma, and I'd be looking to probably switch him for DRB if I were you, my friend. And unless, like I say, unless you want to carry over a transfer to the following week. Let me go in. So is Dino in the chat? Is he? I can't quite see the chat while I'm scrolling through this, but
I think that because I didn't know about this either until today, the ability to click on more information on each player and run through the fixtures, which is quite useful to see how they're probably going to perform going forward. I think I know we're going to get onto my team, but I think the change I made this week was taking out Almiron.
You took Almiron out, did you? Okay.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's always worth looking, if you're going to make any substitutions in or out, looking 4 or 5 game weeks in advance and seeing what their fixture difficulty rating looks like. It's not hard and fast science. It can no guarantees, as we went and beat Chelsea at Chelsea away last weekend. You can never tell what's going to happen in this league, but it's an indicator and it can help. Another just to shout out you guys in the league, excuse me. We got nearly 200. I just quickly scroll through to the end. We got nearly 200 entries, which is absolutely fantastic. Another point I was going to make. So I'm using this all off the official Fantasy Premier League website, but there are other websites like FPL Scout. There's FPL Hub. There's plenty of content out there, guys, and lots of places where you can get more information and lots of advice from other so-called experts. I'm not an expert by any stretch of imagination, guys. I've just had a lucky start, to be fair. But I've definitely been watching a lot of content. So, and to be fair, I've not even been listening to most of their advice.
Your best tactic was misinforming us so that we don't score as high.
I was to tell you not to triple captain. Oh, but you're glad you took my advice last time when I told you not to triple captain Haaland, didn't you? You only got 2. Didn't you only get 2 points that week? You would have got 6 points, mate, if you triple captained him. I was going to bring up our boy Lemmy's team because he's got a green arrow this week. I might just bring up green arrows and troll the red arrows. Let's see what. Okay. Well, you obviously got a good points haul from Trent, who pulled out of the England game. Guys in the chat, any of you guys interested in the England game? Me and Crypto were trying to figure out whether it was a qualifier or a friendly. I honestly don't care at the moment. Until there's a Forest player in that squad, I don't really care. But he's stuck with our boy Turner in goal, which is quality. But a decent points haul for that week, as you can see, and he's gained him a green arrow. Crypto, you didn't watch a game either, did you?
I watched the England game just now. Yeah, it wasn't brilliant.
Oh, did you?
It was okay, but
traitor. No,
yeah, I'm not really that interested in internationals. I just prefer the Forest League games.
So are you not sure if it was a friendly or a qualifier? Because I didn't watch it. That's my excuse.
I started watching it about 20 minutes in. I was watching. I guess there's some guys in the chat who was watching the Sidemen versus YouTube All Stars. I was watching that.
Oh.
Arguably, their defensive line is better than our defensive line. I think it ended like 8-5.
Quality.
Yeah, one of the guys they've got in there called Angry Ginge. He was definitely better than Worrell.
Definitely better than Worrell, did you just say? You're such a
yeah.
troll, mate. Right, so let's bring up Dino's team. With his red arrow. Let's have a look. And if he's giving me abuse in the chat, Crypto, just let me know because I can't quite see it at the moment. Well, yeah, right. He went with Sterling, didn't he? He went with Sterling. And I think he bought. I don't know if he already had Chilwell or he bought him in, but he went with Sterling. But that was that fell on its ass. He left 5 points with Turner on the bench, and he got 2 points from Flecken. So that was another own goal. It's always interesting to have a look to see if you played the wrong team and left any points on the bench, mate. Crips, you got any comments on this squad? Anything do you think you would do different if you were the manager? Obviously, you know, he needs all the help he can get.
I would have backed the Forest boys, you know, and taken the Chelsea players out. Yeah, I think I quite like the Brighton players. Brighton players are doing pretty well. Arsenal and Man City, that kind of makes up my team as well. But Chelsea aren't doing brilliant. Yeah, I don't know. You know, there was a lot of trolling from Dino when I first made my team, but now I'm looking at him below me. You know, it's beneath.
You're looking down on him, yeah. Yes, yeah. It was your way around, wasn't it? You were literally right behind him in the league. But right, so that comment you just made about getting rid of your Chelsea players, I wouldn't just yet. If you look at their next set of fixtures, obviously they just can't beat Forest, but getting points off Forest isn't for everyone, is it? But if you look at the next set of fixtures, apart from the Villa one, we've got a good chance to pick up a few points. So I wouldn't be moving out any of my Chelsea players just yet. Then they've got a little bit of a tricky run before it eases up again. So if you listen to the experts in terms of using your wild card, most of them are saying at least wait until the next international break, which will be after game week 8. So yeah, so if you can see it in the dates, there's a little break there. So there's another 2-week international break after the Burnley game for Chelsea anyway.
When's the double game week?
When's the what? So there's a double game week. So the first double game week of the season has been announced. Let me try. He's got a Burnley player in here. No, that's a Villa player. Sorry. Right. So first double game week is game week 7. So I'm going to bring up your team, in fact, because you've got a Burnley player in there, haven't you? So that's.
Yeah, I know Ollie Watkins was one of the favourites before the season started, but again, he hasn't done brilliant.
Yeah, he's had a poor start to the season, hasn't he? Really. I'll let it load up. I'll go back into the league again. Because are you on the first page or the second page, mate?
Probably the second page. I've got it shared as well. If you just want to switch over
Shall I bring yours up? Yeah, let me bring. It will be. Let's add you to stage. There we go. So if you scroll down and click on your Burnley player, Bayer, who you got on the bench.
Yeah.
And if you click on the fixtures, and then scroll down a bit. So if you have a look there, guys, game week 7, they're playing Newcastle away and Luton away. Not the best fixtures in the world, but it's definitely worth having. So it affects Burnley and Luton. So both those teams, they're the only 2 teams who've got a double game week fixture because their initial game got postponed, just to give Luton a bit more time to sort their Tin Pot Stadium out. So that's a week where you will get points for both games. So it's definitely worth having one of those in your team. And actually, unless you're going to use your bench boost chip, make sure they're in the starting lineup because you'll get points for both games. So some people might start transferring 1 or 2 Luton and Burnley players in over the next couple of weeks, just so they're prepared for that game week 7. But they're the only 2 teams affected, Burnley and Luton. But if you've got those players in your squad already, don't transfer them out just yet. Just wait until after that game week, so at least you get double points. And just go back to the player.
Yeah.
And click on his eye click on the eye. Just have a look at his minutes. How many is he been a regular starter for them? Has he been getting minutes this season?
Minutes played, none in the Aston Villa match.
Yeah, so
in Tottenham and
so he's not. Yeah, so he's been on and off. He might, but definitely worth keeping him. I wouldn't transfer him out unless you're going to transfer him out for another Burnley player. But that's the benefit of a double game weeks. Go on.
I've lost my 4 points already as well because I think I swapped Almiron, changed my formation, and brought Big T in.
So did you use 2 transfers this week? Did you make 2? You get 1 free unless you carry it over.
Another one, it would have been.
In fact, there is a tab where you can show your transfer history. There's a tab where you can show your transfer history. I'm just trying to remember where it is. I think you have to go into transfers. Just show your transfer history somewhere. I'm just trying to figure out where it is. Okay, yes. No, scroll up a bit.
Yeah.
I can't remember where it is now, but I'm sure there is a tab where you can see it.
Basically, it was a change, but I definitely put a 1 in there. I wonder if it was Foden. I might have brought a Foden in.
Yeah. So I had a quick look at this, and I don't think you need major surgery on your team at all. I wouldn't. He hasn't used his wildcard. You used your free hit by mistake, didn't you, earlier on in the season? I think it was game week 2 or game week 3.
I had no idea what I was doing, so I just thought.
So your free hit chip. And probably save it because you only get 1 per season. With wildcards, just to make it clear to you guys, you get 2. So you get the first one you've got up until the end of the year, so 31st of December. You can use it up until then, and then you get a second one literally from the next day, and that runs until the end of the season. So 2 opportunities to swap out your entire team, and it's not going to cost you a penny. But use them sparingly, and the expert's call is to use it after the next international break, which I may be looking at it then. Reasons for that: you'll have 8 weeks worth of game data, so you can see what players are being played and what players aren't being played. What's a free hit and a wild card? So a free hit, yes. So great question, and I'll get to that. So the wild card, you can switch out your entire team. Like I say, the experts are saying, do it after game week after the next international break, which is lead up to after game week 8, lead up to game week 9. Gives you a chance to have 8 weeks worth of game data. You can see who's been playing. You can see who's getting most minutes. Because one of the headaches I don't want, and I'm sure you're the same, Crypto, you don't want to have a player that doesn't start every game at the moment. So, and because I had a quick look at this team before we went live, and you had Palmer in instead of Maddison. Now, Palmer, I think for Chelsea, Cole Palmer will get game time eventually because I think he's a fantastic player. But at the moment, you can't guarantee that. And Maddison is a nailed-on starter. You're going to get minutes. I think he plays every single minute. We can check that in a second if you want to. Let's have a look.
When you do the special ones down here, do they stick or do they revert back to previous week's teams?
So this will answer the question that has just been brought up. So a wild card switches out. You can make as many substitute transfers as you want, and it switches out your entire team, but just for 1 week, and then it reverts back to the team you had at the start of it. Now, when would you use that? Well, you'd use that going forward when there's more double game weeks. So you might have there might be a double game week for 4 or 5 teams, and you haven't got any of those players in your team, but you don't want to miss out on the chance to get double points for those players. So what you can do is use your wild card then, and they tend to happen more towards game weeks 20, 30, after the FA Cup, once the European stages are in the last stages. So certain teams won't play certain games, and they'll stack up and they'll have a double game week. That's how you use your wild card. That's how you're advised to use your wild card. So in a game week where there's double game week, like we're seeing with Burnley and Luton one coming up in game week 7, and you haven't got any of those players in your team, for that 1 week, you can transfer out your entire squad, bring in. So, say for example, Man United have got a double game week, Liverpool have got a double game week, and Tottenham have got a double game week. But you haven't got any of those players, or you got 1 or 2 players from each team. You can get 3 players from Man U, 3 players from Liverpool, and 3 players from Spurs into your team, into your squad for that week, and you'll get points for both games that they play. So that is tactically how to use a wild card. So you only get 1 per season, so it's a shame that you used yours, but that's how you'd use it. Go on. Sorry.
Can you triple captain at the same time as using a wild card?
No. So the chips that you have along the bottom, the triple captain, the bench boost, and the free hit, you can only use 1 per week. So you can't double them up, unfortunately. So that's the only downside with it. And also you can't use believe you can't use a wild card the same week as using a chip as well. So there's a couple of things to watch out for. And again, when you're using your triple captain, most likely you'll be using it on Haaland at some point. So you want to wait until Man City have got a double game week, and hopefully he has a couple of easy fixtures that week where there's more chance of him getting a hat trick in each game. And if you manage to triple captain that week, you're laughing. But that's also when you use your. So all these chips that you have are best used in double game week. Same with bench boost. So you get the points off your bench. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, look at that. So double game week there. Man City against Aston Villa and then Luton. That's pretty much
is that a double game week?
Just doing Saturday, or is Saturday a new day?
No. Yeah, it's new. Yeah, when it's a double game week, it'll have the same game week number on it. So if you go back to like the Burnley player, you'll see there's no other double game weeks booked in yet.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was only them. So it was only the Luton Burnley game. I think that was the second game week of the season that got postponed. Because their stadium wasn't ready. So they're the only teams who've had a game postponed. So if you go back on, like say, if you go back onto, so you can see it says 7-7. So when it's double game week, they'll announce it. So it is worth having your notifications switched on, because statistically, FPL players who do have their FPL notifications switched on get more points, because it reminds you when the transfer windows deadline's coming up. It'll tell you if there's been a major price boost. It'll tell you when there's a double game week coming up. So that's another bit of advice I'd give you guys if you want to take it seriously or want to get the most out of it. Make sure you switch your notifications on, because, like I say, you'll be notified. Statistically, it's easy for me to say. Statistically, players who have a notification switched on do get more points. It's just works out that way. So it certainly worked for me, because I know at times I've forgotten to make my substitution, because you forget some weeks it's a Friday night game, some weeks it's a first game of a weekend is on early on a Saturday. So just make sure you've got those switched on. But let me see if there's any more points in the chat.
There's a question from Dino there as well.
Go on.
That's the one. Can you see where a team has a good run of fixtures as opposed to a player?
Yeah, I mean, you can have a look at the fixtures, basically, upcoming fixtures. So let me bring mine back up. So let's scroll up to the top. Fixtures. There's a handy, I think it's on a football FPL Hub, I think, is a website, and they've got basically they've broken down the next 10 game weeks for all the clubs and graded between what they reckon the fixture ratings are for each club. So I think Liverpool or Chelsea are close to the top at the moment in terms of their fixtures coming up for the next 4 or 5, and then it switches and changes again. But yeah, I mean, you can click on the fixtures tab and you can click through. So we've got a couple of tabs on here. The fixture difficulty rating tab. Here we go. So here we go. This is the one I'm talking about, right? So this one, they haven't graded them in terms of like best to worst. If you go on Fantasy Football Hub, you can see they've graded the teams in terms of who's got the easiest set of fixtures. But you can have a quick look there, and it will go through. You can scroll through. Actually, So it gives you, like, say, 6 game weeks in a row. I can hear your aircon now, mate, by the way. I couldn't hear it all that time. No, I think we're all the same. I don't blame you, mate. It's okay. You carry on, mate. I'm not going to have a go at you for that. But yeah,
sound in the background.
Excuse me. So fixtures tab, fixture difficulty ratings and upcoming fixtures. Definitely lots of great tips on here as well. So the scout, if you have a look on here, this is where I get a lot of my content from, to be honest. There's loads of great tips and tricks and really good articles for you to look at. If you want, like I say, I mean, it's a bit of fun, but if you want to take it serious, if you want to get those green arrows, Dino, it's probably worth reading through some of these. This is where they announced, so I got this alert straight away, where they announced double game week fixtures for Luton and Burnley. And they'll give you tips. So there's tips from FPL experts in terms of what players, if you're going to bring any Luton or Burnley players in, who's worth bringing in. And Carlton Morris seems to be a good shout out moment because he's got a few points already so far this season, and he's a nailed on starter as well. Defensive wise, he'll give you a few tips. Amari Bell, good value as well. Really low ownership, so he's another differential player. Not many people, 6.5% of FPL players have got him in their squad. So definitely worth clicking on these tabs, guys. And this is just on the official one. There's plenty of other FPL articles out there and FPL websites for you guys to delve into. But it can get addicted. I'll be honest. I'm a little bit trapped with it myself. But to be honest, I've not been following their advice. I've been listening to it, but I've not been following it. And I think I'm doing all right on my own. There's a few things, guys, to look out.
I was going to say,
say again.
What's the prize for winning the Forest Fan TV Fantasy League?
Oh, the Forest Fan TV. I think we'll give away a mug or something. We'll think of something. I'll make sure Wolverine digs deep, and all that money he's making off FFT. I'm joking. Offers all those super chats. We'll make sure that we do get a prize out for the winner. I don't know what it is yet, but if you want to look at the official prizes, they've gone. Honestly, they used to be a lot better than they are. They're still not bad. I wouldn't knock any of these prizes when I win it, but if you have a look, it used to be a lot better than that. I used to get like some cash money as well, but there's some decent prizes. I don't know if you guys can actually see that. I might just move the screen up. So the overall winner gets 7-night break in the UK for 2, VIP hospitality to 2 Premier League games in 24-25 season, selection of experiences from tourist attractions, and the new EA Sports game, official night balls, laptops, noise cancelling headphones. I bet they're Beats. What else? Yeah, just a load of goodie bags as well. But I'm sure they used to give you cash money, mate. I'd take the cash. I'll swap that for cash anyway. But yeah, there's a few decent prizes on there. We'll come up with something. If you've got any suggestions within a certain budget, let us know. And if you lose the wooden spoon prize, that's the wooden spoon prize, Dino. 7-night break with us. I don't think anybody wants that. But yeah, look out for a stream that I'm going to do later on in the week. Let me see if I can find the thumbnail for it. But it's to basically touch on the screenshots I was showing you guys earlier, and it's for Salah, my Salah wildcard. So if any of you guys have used your wildcard and you just want a few more tips and tricks on how to get the maximum out of it, I think personally I've got the perfect team. I think I've come up with a perfect team where you can get Salah into it as well. So that's a video that's coming out later on in the week. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel and hit your notifications button. Hit the like button for everybody who's in so far. Thank you, everybody who has joined us. And if you are watching this back, make sure you leave a comment down below. If there's any changes you want to make to your FPL team, or if you've already used your wild card, you've got until obviously the game. I think the deadline, I think it's a Saturday early kickoff, so you've got until the Saturday next week to put your teams in. So if you've got a wild card, the good thing about it doing it during an international break is it gives you 2 weeks to basically tinker around with your team, because you can make as many substitutions, as many changes. You might have used your wild card, changed it, and think, actually, I want to change it back. Well, you got 2 weeks to do that in. And for example, if somebody picks up an injury in this international break and you've already transferred them into your team, if you've got your wild card active in that international break, you can then switch them out again. But thank you everybody who's joined. Please look out for this stream coming up. State your notifications on so you can be notified basically when it does come on. Crypto, thank you so much for joining me, mate, at such short notice. So you're having a bit of a night out. You're having a bit of a night out tonight, aren't you, mate? So enjoy it.
Yeah, my friend's 33rd birthday. So
are you going into town?
Maybe, I don't know. We'll start for the Admiral Rodney in Woollerton, if anybody knows it. I don't know where we'll go after that. So,
or if anybody wants to join you, yeah.
Anyone wants to discuss how brilliant a player Worrall is, then I'm sure we'll be talking about that.
Plenty of banter going on, I'm sure, tonight. But yeah, enjoy it, mate. Thank you everyone who joined us. Watch out for the stream, and we will see you soon. Come on, you Reds.
Oh, come on, you Reds.